what brides and grooms were really looking at us for. We needed to figure out what it was that they were booking us for and what they wanted to see when we delivered their files. So we just asked them. We started asking potential clients during Skype meetings, present clients during pre-wedding chats, and even past clients whenever we caught up with them. It didn't matter who we asked. Not one person said that they booked us for the award-winning shots. What they wanted were beautifully framed, natural moments. In many ways, the bread and butter of what everyone here does.
Sometimes it's easy to get into a loop with your business. If things are going well, you've got loads of bookings, it's hard to take a step back and actually look at things subjectively. But we started asking our clients and past clients, and we realized that it gave us a perspective of someone that wasn't in the industry. We'd heard so many people talk about, all the awards that we'd won, but we had totally failed to consider that that's not why they booked us, because they're all new to the industry, so they've got no idea what any of that means. The truth is that they booked us based off two things: the photos we show and the connection we made during that first phone call. So we started approaching weddings a little differently. We knew the safe shots would cover everything the bride and groom wanted, and we would always be there for all of those important moments. So any of the spare time, that's the time when we kind of thought, well, maybe we can do something a little different, and maybe we can go for an award shot if we wanted to, but we didn't really, find that important anymore.
What we realized is that our clients don't judge us by the same standards that we judge ourselves. They don't see every wedding that we've shot. They don't know every award that we've won before. They're not going to know if we've done the same shot at their wedding as the last wedding. Their wedding will always be unique to them because it's their wedding. The funny thing is that once we took this pressure off and we stopped trying to win awards at every wedding we went to, we started coming away from weddings with more shots than ever that we really loved. By taking that pressure off ourselves, we were able to start enjoying what we were doing again. We started really loving our job, and our clients were loving the photos because of it. It's important to say that we're not talking about taking it easy. We're not saying that you should go repeating shots at every wedding, doing the same thing every time, and just slacking off. What we mean is putting the client's wants ahead of our own. Getting the shots that they want that are going to make their wedding album complete. It doesn't matter if you've got it before, because they've never had that photo before.
Now, a Facebook post a few months ago really crystallized this for us, and this is actually true. A fairly successful photographer posted in the group that we're members of, saying that it was a week to go before the wedding and the clients have paid, but they've asked for this group shot that some would consider cheesy. So he was actually on about cancelling the whole wedding, not giving them the money back, that's it, because it was in breach of the contract because it wasn't his style. So we couldn't believe this, and obviously we replied and said, just do the shot, it'll take 10 minutes, you don't have to put it on your website, just keep the clients happy. But we couldn't believe how many people and how many other photographers replied and said, oh yeah, cancel the wedding, you don't give them the money back, they're asking you to do something that totally isn't your style. And the fact is that we are all, to a varying degree, commercial photographers. We are there to do a job for a client.
The ridiculous thing is that when we get asked to do these shots, if you say that you're not going to do it, and you say, this isn't my style, and I don't want to do that, you're going to have weeks and months and potentially even years of headaches. The client will never forget the fact that you said you wouldn't do that one shot. If you just do it quietly, quickly, you've never got to put it on your blog, you've never got to show anyone else it, but you're going to keep that client happy. For us, it's all about keeping our clients happy. Even if we're not entirely happy with those images, the main thing is that that client's going to go away and they're going to refer us to other people. Sometimes it's not just about keeping our clients happy though. We want them to know that we're putting them first. From the moment they book us to the moment we deliver their images, we don't want them to think that we've forgotten about them.
As a business owner, it's easy to fall into the trap of working so hard to get that initial booking and then forgetting about the clients until the wedding day rolls round. Well, put yourselves in the client's shoes for a second. They've booked all of these suppliers, and it's the first time they're doing it, so they're not really sure, what's supposed to happen. And they don't hear from you, apart from that initial booking, for sometimes a week before up to the wedding day. Now, I don't know about you, but even I would start to worry that they'd forgotten about us.
It's amazing how big small things can be. Something as simple as a card on Valentine's Day, or the odd email just to remind them that you're thinking about them and checking in to see if there's anything else you can do. It seems really illogical, but we've had couples who've paid thousands of pounds for wedding photography who've been blown away by the thoughtfulness of a £5 Valentine's Day gift. We're already exceeding expectations before we even start shooting. So really think about your clients. Do you respond to their emails in a consistent manner, or do you slack off once you've got the booking? Do you ask them what they want most when it comes to their photography? Remember, awards, organisations, associations, they're great, and we do love entering awards for ourselves, but they don't pay the bills. Clients do.
We love our job. It's given us a fantastic life. We get to work together, we turn up on a Saturday, shoot a few photos, job done. It's not like we do real work.
How many of your friends and family have said that to you in the past? My parents remind me most week how easy our job is. So we had to think about everything that we do as photographers and business owners. And it's really very simple when you break it down. It's just a bit of photography, editing, office admin, including but not limited to email, scheduling, billing, travel and accommodation arrangements, website design, SEO, blogging, Twitter, Google+, Facebook, Instagram, training, client meetings, networking, album design, accounting, advertising and printing. Sorry to the translators on that one.
It's safe to say that regardless what people think, running your own business is incredibly hard, and we seem to be in a very competitive industry. Sometimes it's easy to feel so bogged down trying to think about, all of the things that you have going on that you don't take enough time to think about the future. So every few months, we sit down and really think about, right, what's our next goal? What do we want to achieve next? And every time we manage to sit down, and when we've actually written them down, the next time we'll be able to cross them off. And it doesn't matter, maybe one will get crossed once a year, once a month, or maybe once a day. Sometimes just telling the universe what you want is enough. It's amazing how many times we've written a goal down and just physically writing it down, and 2 days later as doors opened up that's allowed us to achieve it.
Now, we're not saying that there's anything mystical about writing a goal down and then it happening. Sometimes it's just an idea of keeping yourself focused on that thing that you're aiming for. But what we really would encourage everyone here to do is to make one of your goals a profit figure. Something tangible that you can aim for, so that when you hit that, you can say, I've done it, and then move on to the next goal. Not something vague like make more money or be more successful, something really specific. For us, managing our workflow in the present goes hand in hand with managing our workflow in the present goes hand in hand with goal setting. It means that we can plan out what we're going to do, and it means that we can keep on top of everything. Now, when we started out, we did a lot of weddings quite cheaply. Within the first 2 years, we'd shot over 100 weddings. 2 years later, 4 years into our business, we'd shot over 200 weddings. Now, by this point, we started to feel like we were still overworked, still underpaid, but we could maybe see that we might be getting into the well-paid promised land. But we were still overworked. And most of our money went towards treats that we rarely had the chance to enjoy. It's true that we had a lot of freedom being self-employed photographers, but we also had the constant stresses of running a business. Self-employment wasn't exactly what we'd imagined.
We had finally realised that this way of doing business just wasn't sustainable. In fact, it was running us both into the ground. And to be honest, it took all of the enjoyment out of photography, and the reason why we started doing this, was to have more time and be able to do something we love. But we had been thinking about the future in all the wrong ways. We had achieved all of these goals that we had set, but they were just the wrong goals. Photography isn't a business that attracts business-minded people. It attracts creative, emotional people. And without, understanding all of the business sense, we're just in the danger of going down a struggling artist.
Now, a few months ago, we travelled to Dubai with some friends of ours for a wedding. Now, Our videographer friends that we travelled with, they really wanted to shoot this wedding in Dubai. They actually set up a business in Dubai shortly after that, so they took quite a discounted rate on the booking. We did the same because we wanted to shoot with our friends, and it seemed like a nice job. We were only going to be working for 12 hours over 3 days, and we'd get a free holiday out of it. Now, a couple of hours before we were due to fly out, we received the timeline of events from the groom. And when we looked at it, instead of being the 12 hours that we talked about shooting, it looked like more like 24 hours of work over the 3 days. Our friends called us up, and they said to us, well, what are we going to do? You know, we're going to be there. We can't just leave. We're going to have to shoot this wedding, all 24 hours of it. And I said to him the same thing that I want to ask you all now. If you don't value your time, how can you expect your clients to? Now, I'm not saying that you can't ever stay late at a wedding, but you need to appreciate the value of your time. We generally don't book on hours. We tend to say we'll be there for a whole day, or we'll be there till the first dance, or we'll be there till midnight. But if a client's booked us on a specific number of hours, we're going to stick to those. We're going to email them and say, well, if you want some extra hours, it's X per hour. And if they want to go for that, then that's fine. But if not, then that's fine as well. What we need to realize is that as photographers, our commodity is our time is the only commodity our businesses depend on. Your time is valuable. That's what we're selling to people.
When we got home from our first conference last year, we did what most people do. We sat down, read through all of our notes, and we started to implement what we thought would work and what we didn't. I'm sure a lot of you will do the same. I hope so, anyway. But when you do, just remember, think about the future. As a professional and a person, the best way to do this is actually look at the hours you're spending on your business per wedding. It's a rather sobering reality for most photographers, I think. Streamlining our business was one of the most important things we have ever done, and it basically works on this mantra, really: work smarter, not harder. It's different for everyone, and that's why we can't really recommend a critical post-conference analysis enough. But here are a few ways that we've managed to halve our working week, allowing us to, spend time with our pets or, do anything we want, basically.
So there's a few things that you can do to save money. The first one was buying in bigger quantities. If you can buy in bulk, you can save a little bit of money here and there. Asking local suppliers for discounts on client gifts. There's not really a lot that we spend money on as photographers, but if you can do these little things, it does add up. We started using JPEG Mini, which halved the size of the USBs that we were using. And what about time? When we started using Fundy software, we saw the time it took us to design an album reduced by around about 90%. All that time, it adds up. And even if you're not saving money, getting that time back is invaluable. The biggest thing we've done, and something that we'd advise you all to think about, is outsourcing editing. That really did start to give us our lives back from something that was taking weeks, 5, 6 days at least.
And we actually worked out how much, because I did all the editing, how much I was getting paid per day on the hours it spent to do a wedding, and it was less than £10 a day. So when you think of it like that, it's worth the money, I think. So, last chapter. The wedding industry is an odd world, to say the least. There seems to be like a preoccupation with what everyone else is doing. And in our first years, we did what most new businesses do. We went